Alright guys, this is Scantron Test Prep 1. And you will use these notes to solve the problems on Canvas. In this lesson, you will be comparing numbers. So we will need to review our symbols. This symbol means less than. This is greater than. And then we have equal to. Okay, so in our first example, we will have some numbers to add and then compare. 20,253 plus 1,000. And we'll be comparing that to 20,042 plus 1,211. So what you'll do is use your calculator if needed, and you will add the numbers on each side. So 21,253 will be compared to 20,042 plus 1,211 gives us 21,253. All right, so then we see that our numbers are equal to. Okay, the next type of example asks us to use multiple operations to solve. So here's your example. 38 plus 15 minus 42 plus 3. Okay, so when we have multiple operations, we know we need to start with our parentheses. If you need to, you can write down the little acronym, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And remember that multiply and divide and add and subtract are together, whichever comes first in order from left to right. But we don't have that problem because we just have two sets of parentheses. So we'll start here with 38 plus 15, and that gives us 53, and we'll subtract that from 42 plus 3. Okay, so one final operation, 53 minus 45. And so our final answer is 8. Okay, and in example 3, we're going to be expanding our numbers, writing an expanded notation. All right, so what we'll do is start with our number, 36,971. Now, in order to expand these numbers, you're going to take every single number one at a time, and you'll make everything else a 0 and add them all together. So we'll start here. So first we start with the 3. So you write 3, and then everything else is a 0. So notice I changed all of these to a 0. And then put a plus sign. All right, so now we're going to go to the 6. So start with the 6, and then everything else becomes a 0. So I started with a 6 and then had 3 zeros. Then a plus sign. Now I'll go to the 9. Write the 9, and then everything else is a 0. 9, 0, 0. Plus. Now we'll go to the 7. And so we only have to add 1 0. And then finally, we have our ones place, and it's just a 1. And so this is an expanded form. Now, if you have a 0 within your number, you don't have to write that 0. You just skip it and move on to the next whole number that is available. Okay, in example 4, you're going to look at prime and composite numbers. So let's review what prime and composite are. All right, prime numbers are only divisible by 1 in itself. Or you could say it as it only has 2 factors, 1 in itself. All right, and so some examples of some prime numbers would be like the number 2. Now remember, 2 is the only even prime number. 3 is a prime number. 5 is a prime number. 7, 11, and we could continue on. Composite numbers have more than 2 factors. Or you could think of it as they are divisible by more numbers than just 1 or itself. Even if it has 3, it's still composite. Like 25 has 1, 5, and 25. And 25 is still composite. On this example, they'll give you a number and ask you which one shows this number as a sum of prime numbers. So what you'll need to do is look at all of your answer choices and decide which answer choice has only prime numbers. So when we look at A, 20 is a composite number, 5 is prime, but they're not both prime. All right, and then on B, 23 is prime and 2 is prime. So it looks like B is our answer. Let's double check C. 15 is composite, 7 is prime, 3 is prime. So B would be the answer because they are both prime numbers.